Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Cinemondo Podcast Trailer Reaction Program.
We
love trailers. Kathy, Mark, and Burke.
We just keep coming at you.
Yeah,
we're never going to stop.
Soon in
Look
3D.
out. Yeah,
it's in 3D pretty soon.
I love doing trailer reactions. It's probably one of my favorite things because I've always loved trailers.
Yeah.
Well, it's always fun the way we do them too, because we'll sometimes get trailers that none of us have seen and we don't know anything about it, and we're just sort of like, "This looks interesting. That's
actually ideal
because it's a real reaction,
really reacting,
and we're not faking it. We're not pretending like we never saw it. Like, we're not going, "Ooh, that's interesting,"
and we might seem like we're a little out of it, like we don't know anything about the movie, but guess what? We don't. Yeah. That's the whole point.
That's how I usually react to things.
We're crazy like that. We're just nuts. You never know what to expect from us.
We're freewheeling it.
Yeah.
All right.
But this one is Wes Anderson's latest.
I do like Wes Anderson, though I know nothing about this movie.
The French Dispatch, and it was a big deal at the Cannes Film Festival. I have not seen anything about it or heard anything about it. And I think, Burke, you're the same. So we're going to go in totally cold on this one.
Yeah.
But before we do that, subscribe, like, and comment.
Yes.
We want you to do that. We want you to like us.
Please like.
It sound pitiful.
Subscribe us and comment.
Okay. All right, Jamie, enough of that.
And comment us.
When you be sure to say you don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
But yeah, we definitely want to hear what you have to think of, what you have to say about these trailers, or what you think about the film that's going to come out. I mean, we love we will absolutely respond to your comments. So please do.
Do you guys like Wes Anderson? Is Wes Anderson a
I mostly do.
filmmaker?
I mostly do. I think he's good.
I'm not. I like his early films better than his later stuff.
I get him confused with Paul Anderson.
Right. I mean, not his movies.
It's the names. The names.
Yeah.
I get confused on who's who.
So I loved Bottle Rocket. I loved
Bottle Rocket's my favorite of his films.
And then I liked Rushmore. And then from there, I feel like his filmmaking, to me, and there's some good movies in there, it's just very much the same sort of twee sort of camera movement.
It's a little twee.
And I go, God, I want him to go back to what he was doing earlier. That's just my take, So who knows, this might be different. But some of his
Bottle
other
Rocket.
stuff, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Bottle Rocket is so great. I remember watching Bottle Rocket, and it got me inspired to make my own movies because it was so. There's nothing in that film other than just people and places. It's like people in houses and outside of houses and in buildings and stuff. It's like you could shoot that movie with your phone. If you had that script.
Yeah, it was just
the cast.
A beautiful movie.
That
James Caan. But anyway, I don't want to go crazy on that. That's just my personal take on him. But maybe this film will be different. I mean,
I like Fantastic Mr. Fox because it's just so damn cute.
That's right. That was him.
I guess it was very twee. But let's try it. Let's see how twee this is. Let's give it a twee rating afterwards.
Yeah.
All
right, ready?
How twee can he be?
It began as a holiday. Eager to escape a bright future of the Great Plains, Arthur Howitzer Jr. transformed the series of travelogue columns into the French Dispatch, a factual weekly report on the subjects of world politics, the arts, high and low, and diverse stories of human interest.
You don't think it's almost too seedy this time?
No, I don't.
For decent people.
It's supposed to be charming.
He assembled a team of the best expatriate journalists of his time: Berenson, Sazerac, Kremens, Roebuck Wright. These were his people.
Just try to make it sound like you wrote it that way on purpose.
We take as the subject of tonight's lecture Mr. Moses Rosenthaler, certainly the loudest artistic voice of his rowdy generation.
Simone Naked Cell Block J Hobby Room. I want to buy it.
It's not for sale.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
In short, the picture was a sensation.
The kids did this. Obliterated 1,000 years of Republican authority in less than a fortnight. What do they want? Freedom. Full stop.
I'm naked, Mrs. Kremens.
I can see that.
Lieutenant Nescaffier.
He is the great exemplar of the mode of cuisine known as police cooking.
The aromas of the kitchen cast a spell, which was to be mortally broken.
As you know by now, we have kidnapped your son.
A message from the foreman. 1 hour to press.
You're fired.
Really?
Don't cry in my office.
Okay, like a 1 to 10, that's probably 100 on the tweet scale.
It's like hyper Wes Anderson, which is like hyper Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
And there was I detected a bit of Jacques Tati in there.
Definitely.
There was some like walking up the stairs in that building and very the French stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's like almost too staged and stylized and designed.
Well, that's what I feel about his films. Like that's all interesting, but am I going to care about the characters and the story? That's exactly, that's my problem. Is
he makes movies that I want to wear.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It does. I know exactly what you mean. It's very stylish and
I love it, but
beautiful.
I don't know if I like it. The same time,
you could watch this movie backwards and maybe it would be just as beautiful. I don't know, that's mean, but
well, each scene looks very thought out. Like I love the portraits, like right at camera, a lot of right at camera. I love the little gag, like no crying over. It's all very precise. It does, you know, it's hyper, like not real, like it's hyper, what would you call it, fantasy. And I couldn't really tell exactly what this movie's about. It seems like there's a bit of a jailbreak, and so, but I don't know what it was, if it was real.
Bill Murray was
beautifully shot.
Yeah,
I'd love to see at the end with all the police coming in, and they're each pointing a gun across the screen. I mean, very, very precise filmmaker.
Yes,
and I think he's unbelievably talented. But sometimes there's a little distancing, I think, when you have something that's a little too cute like that. But it still looks entertaining. I mean, I guess.
He's not trying to make a movie about the real world, you know. He's trying to make something that's visually appealing and maybe has a clever sort of maybe impressionistic story, that's allegory and you know, like history and historical things as they are sometimes made legend. I don't know, like the idea of something in the past didn't really happen this way, but this is how we think it happened. And, you know.
It's just like, you know, I think of Moonrise Kingdom, which Bill Murray was also playing the same sort of character, kind of like this, you know, sort of deadpan, you know, I think it was like a scoutmaster or something. Right. And I just like, I'm just bored with this movie because it's not really telling me a story or characters that I care about. It's just being that. And
I feel like, and from we're not reviewing the movie, we're reviewing the trailer, but our impressions of what the movie's going to be is made with these trailers. But I feel like he packs his movies with a ton of actors.
The cast is
insane. I feel like we don't focus on anyone. And then I would love to see him take a super stripped down idea and have like maybe 1 or 2 actors in it in a room or something, and just like I just want to see.
Go back.
I feel like he's got it in him.
Yeah, like you said, Bottle Rocket. Yeah.
3 characters, friends. They rob a bank, and that's it. It was simple, but it's so fun and lively and fresh. And he can do that. But he's like bringing in. There's 200. All his favorite celebrity friends are coming in. I'm going to put you in for a bit.
Let's put on a show. Yeah,
and it's just like it's a little too much for me.
And the stylized look of it is like it's like a coffee table book of photographs by a photographer or something,
which I'd love to see. I mean, I'd love to look at it, but I don't know if I'll feel anything when I look at it. I think it'll be a little cold and removed, but again, like I think it looks amazing. No one looks like this. I mean, there's not a filmmaker around that besides, you know, his tributes to filmmakers. I mean, I feel like he's very that sort of nostalgic, you know, very cute overly twee kind of feeling of his films.
But don't you feel like the last 10 films he's done has been like that? So
they're
he's
interchangeable,
not really growing as a filmmaker in the sense of doing something different. It's like, this is my style. I'm just going to make this over and over and over again, just with a different story, different actors.
And it can get kind of overwhelming, when you're watching a film. Sometimes you don't, it's beautiful to see it. Like, I was talking about a coffee table book of photographs. I imagine if you took a frame from every scene in this film and put it in a book, it would be a really nice photography book. But I mean, you can watch a film that's like a series of art pieces. In some ways, David Lynch makes films like that. In a way that don't make perfect narrative sense. And sometimes David Lynch seems to be making the same thing again and again. The same kind of thing over and over, but at least there's something in David Lynch films that I can grab onto in a way. In Wes Anderson films that I've tried to watch recently, I feel like I can't grab. There's nothing in there that I can grab onto and that carries me through the film, other than just these stunningly beautiful visual impressions, scene after scene after scene, which to me gets a little overwhelming.
I was just looking up I just wanted to see a description. What is this movie about? Because I couldn't really tell. And now it kind of makes sense to me. And now I'm a little more intrigued. Okay. So say a love letter to journalists set in an outpost of an American newspaper in a fictional 20th century French city that brings to life a collection of stories published in the French Dispatch. So the reason it feels very disparate and weird and we can't figure out what's happening is there are a bunch of different stories.
Right.
Hence the titles during the trailer.
So that's kind of cool. The idea, it's like probably a bunch of little short films in a way.
It looks like maybe that's what it is, like historical moments and this is the way the journalist remembered it or wrote about it and it kind of embellished it maybe.
I have a feeling that probably the trailer company, wanted to simplify the trailer, and they were probably afraid that if it looked like too many stories or too many little movies, people wouldn't want to see it. So they tried to sort of imply that it was all one big, unusual movie showing a bunch of disparate clips that were just mostly confusing.
It goes black and white, color, black and white,
Right.
Exactly.
Modern day, yesteryear, whatever.
Yep.
So, I'm sure we'll see. It felt like more of the same just from the trailer. It's just the trailer. It's not the film. So I'll leave it at that.
It's probably better than the trailer.
I bet it is. Sometimes it's the other way around, but I think in this case, it probably will be better in the trailer. The trailer had a lot of heavy lifting. It would have been almost impossible, but I would have liked to have seen them slow it down, tell us what it is, and maybe show it as a bunch of stories. Like maybe there's a book or maybe it's a newspaper and it's showing us little chapters.
Maybe they did tell us, because there was some narration at the beginning of the trailer that I wasn't really paying attention to because I was too overwhelmed by the stunning visuals.
Do you want me to show the intro again? We could see it and just to confirm it.
Oh, I don't know. It's people can rewind this video and watch it for
themselves. It was standing ovation at Cannes. The people they loved it. Wow. They loved it there. It was like the cause célèbre in Cannes. So that's just my last couple of Wes Anderson.
Well, if the French people like it, that means it's good.
Yeah. It's got a French vibe to it.
It does. It's set in a French city.
Yeah.
It's a French Dispatch.
Yeah.
And I love baguettes. So
and Frances McDormand, like I always kind of, when I see her, I kind of go, oh yeah.
And her name is Frances McDormand.
France. That's true. It's in her name.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
And I think Dormand is a French word.
Anyway.
Okay.
Here's our very confused, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about review of French Dispatch.
I may watch it. Yeah.
I might watch it.
I like Wes Anderson. I have to say,
too.
I like what he's doing. He's doing something nobody else is doing.
Very
we shouldn't put him down for it.
No,
visionary.
No. I think he's a great filmmaker, and
I
love his earlier stuff more than his later stuff. That's just my take.
Mm-hmm.
Like Royal Tannenbaums. Great movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right then.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe us.
I'm not going to do the thing again.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't. Okay.
See you guys. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
The Earth is invaded by indestructible moon monsters.